While the success of Iowa's rural schools was quite evident, challenges to the rural school system existed from the very beginning. Many non-rural educators never valued or understood rural life. How could a one-room, one-teacher school with no electricity or plumbing be academically comparable to a modern town school? And even though the cost per rural student was always lower than that of a town student, some felt tax dollars were better spent on town schools. The dynamics of the families served by rural schools had changed to the point that, by the mid-1900s, there were no longer enough children to fill a school every 4 square miles. The state always required a minimum of 10 students to stay open, and families had gotten smaller, while farms had gotten larger. After World War II, roads and buses were greatly improved, so farm children could be reliably transported into town. Challengers of the rural school system finally convinced the public that larger town schools meant a better education, and farmers agreed that digging a well and installing indoor toilets in an 1800s built one-room school was too costly. By the 1950s, most farmhouses had electricity and indoor plumbing, so outhouses were no longer socially acceptable in school, even in rural areas. In 1953, the Community School District was created by the state, placing rural schools within the boundary of a town district and giving local districts the authority to close rural schools. By 1966, there were no public rural schools operating in Iowa.